You want to see some liberals going at it? I definitely didn't, but this is something that I want to show to you all. I thought it'd be something that we can talk about for like un momento. Okay, caption this, and if you can't, let me open this in a new tab so we can see this a little closer. This is it looks like a shack, maybe in like West Virginia or Eastern Kentucky. Things just strewn about the place. It looks terrible. They got a Confederate flag, a Trump flag, and a washed out, sunburned American flag. And someone says Republican National Headquarters. Okay, so we got that one. Whoops, I don't want you to see that yet. Thank you for that. Boy, I ruffled some racist feathers with this one. All these folks defending racists flying a racist flag because they be poor. Oh, boo-hoo, the racist can't afford a lawnmower, but can a Trump flag? Isn't that so sweet, Bernie? Lawnmower. Vote Trump 2020 if you want to see the entire country turn into rural West Virginia, who's voted solid red for decades. I can't imagine how people can live like that. I'd kill myself before I'd be that poor. That's disgusting. So, yikes. That's a yikes. Okay, we know. Let's get some. We've reached a new level of liberalism. We've reached poor shaming. What do you mean a new low for me? What the heck? I've not done a single poor shaming, okay? These are my people. Yeah, they are going mad. They're going ham, okay? Let's get one thing straight. Republicans, especially rural Republicans who tend to be much poorer than people who live in like cities or suburban areas, do vote against their interests, and voting against those interests do in fact make them poorer. This is incredibly true. One thing that I remember specifically, it's a book called, it's not White Privilege. I forget. It's in my Amazon shopping. It's in my Amazon wish list. I forget what it's called. It's something white. It's not White Fragility. It's something else. But it chronicles a bunch of stories from people who voted red all their lives, and it specifically followed the story of a man. Well, this is the story that I remember specifically off the top of my head. A man who was in, I believe, Kentucky or Alabama, one of the two. It wasn't white. I don't think it was White Fragility, but I'll look it up just to make sure. You may be right. It may be White Fragility. It chronicled a man who, when Obamacare was around, he would have benefited a lot from Obamacare. I believe he had cancer or some other really bad physical disease that was killing him. And he said he didn't want Obamacare because that would mean that he either said like the blacks or people who don't work hard enough would get health care. And that goes against everything that he believed, right? And before the book finished, he died. He died of that. He died of his ideology, not wanting other people to get health care, who he felt like in his mind may not have worked hard enough to get it, killed him. And I'm not sure if he died happy. I'm not sure what he was thinking when he died, but he did pass away and he's no longer with us. It is very true that right-wing people who are poor very, very much vote against their own interests. Everyone's technically voting against their interests when we live in the two-party system, but Republicans and poor people, specifically when they vote red, do it even more. We can talk about that. We can criticize that, and we can criticize conservatism without criticizing poor people, without shitting on poor people, without being physically revolted by seeing poor people suffer in the economic system that's been that they were born under, right? Can you imagine for 1 second, like someone rolling up into the projects like, huh, PU smells like poor N-word around here, and am I right? Like, can you imagine someone doing that? Like, that'd be disgusting. We shouldn't do that either. There's no reason to be shitting on poor people this hard, specifically just because they're poor. There's no reason. There is no reason. He's like, y'all are starving, but they still got cell phones, especially with the first one. Ruffled some racist feathers. Huh, you can't buy a lawnmower, but you can buy a $5 Trump flag off of Amazon that you had to drive 5 miles for to the nearest USPS that the Republicans are trying to shut down to get it because they won't deliver to your mailbox. Dumbass. Boo-hoo. that's just disgusting to me. You know, that's just disgusting to me. Someone also like threw up a Stone Toss comic. I'm not gonna. This is a bad comic. This is a bad comic for one. You know, I support the working class. Oh shucks, well it's good to hear, friend. And then because they're communists. Now, if this was a liberal, if this had like a freaking if this was like someone who's from the K Hive or something, then I totally agree with it. It make a lot of sense. I mean, we saw right there. But leftists, real leftists, shouldn't be shitting on poor people. They're hurt. They're suffering. Like the amount of suffering that you go through as a poor person is terrible. It even lowers your lifespan because you have less access to healthcare. You have less access to good food to keep you healthy. You have less information to keep you healthy and keep your family safe. You have less everything. You spend more of your money on things that you must consume. Like, it's just a horrible life to live. I can't listen. We shouldn't be shitting on poor people's homes just because they're poor. That's not okay. And it will never be okay.